I think when I sat down to do my makeup this morning that the inner scene kid in me came out and did the eyeshadow, because that is definitely the vibes that I'm getting from this color combination. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. So it is the end of January and I feel like all we did this month was empties, inventories, and introductions, which isn't like a bad thing, but it was a lot. And so I felt like this would be a great video to put at the end of the month all of the items that I am panning, just in case you like missed something, or just want to take like that look back and see it all in one place. I also like doing these because I myself have those items that I'm like low-key project panning, like they're not in any official like video or project or anything like that, but I am actively like focusing in on them hardcore and trying to get them out of my collection. So it's nice to see those like behind the scenes products. I also like doing these because it's really helpful for me just to make sure that I haven't like overwhelmed myself with anything. So I'm sure if you search the search bar in YouTube, you will find a lot of other people that do these style of videos too. So if you really are enjoying it, then I highly encourage you to go check out and see who else you can find that has done these. I'm sure a lot of people do them much more frequently. I was thinking like every quarter, maybe like we'll do it again in June, something like that. Like I don't have any intention of making this like a reoccurring like monthly video, but just thought it would be fun to do the recaps. So I want to get into it. We're gonna go over everything as you would apply them to your face, not necessarily project by project, because I think it would be helpful to see, like for instance, there might be like 3 foundations in 3 different projects, and so if we looked at it project by project, you wouldn't see all 3 of them together. That's just how it makes sense in my head. The only things that I did not bring in here are eyeshadows. So I have my Fantasy Self palette that I'm doing with Laura this year. And then I obviously have my Pan Those Eyeshadows, and then the 365 Days of Eyeshadows challenge by Jessica. So that last one, the 365 days one, that's more about just like a challenge to like encourage you to rotate and touch a lot more things than you would in a typical year. But anyway, where I'm going with that is that I just didn't feel the need to like bring in the eyeshadow palettes because they don't, I don't get as overwhelmed if I'm working on a lot of eyeshadows as I do if I am working on like a lot of base or complexion type products. So hopefully you guys are into this. I'm gonna quit rambling. Let's just get right on into it, and we will start with primers. Okay, so let's kick it off with primers. I'm working on one primer in my collection right now. So this is the Too Faced Hangover RX primer, and you guys know this is not like a favorite of mine. I cannot wait to get this out of my collection. It's not like a super terrible primer, but it's just not something like I don't find it all that hydrating. I don't think that it helps with my makeup application, so I'm really excited to be so close to finishing this up, especially if you look at it. Now, I have heard a lot of people say that once this stops pumping product, you need to cut it open because there's a ridiculous amount of product left in the packaging. So that is my plan because I do want to get the full use out of it, like the full monetary value. But yeah, only currently working on one primer. All right, color corrector. So I only have one color corrector in my collection, but I am like consistently working on this with the goal to finish it off before I purchase another one. So this is from Addictive Cosmetics. It is their Primetime color corrector in the shade Fair Medium, which is just like a great peachy color. There is some like windowing on the packaging. Maybe not, I guess it kind of settled. But I did take the stopper out, and so I do have some like windowing in there. Here's like how goopy the wand is without the stopper. So there's quite a bit of product still left in here. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I do want to kind of keep track of it because I am noticing that the formula of this is changing a little bit. So this is a more like all natural product. But now I'm finding that it's like a bit gritty on my skin, and so I want to pay close attention and make sure that it doesn't like go off and cause like a reaction or anything like that. So while I also really love this peachy color corrector, and I know I've like recommended it in the past, I don't think I'll personally repurchase it because obviously I can't go through a whole tube of it before it expires. Okay, so I'm currently working on 2 foundations. They both come from the Project 50 pan, which is the Roulette pan collab that was created by Rebecca and Alexi. So I have my NYX Born to Glow foundation. I have mine in the shade Light, as well as my Jouer Essential High Coverage foundation in the shade Porcelain. Really happy to be working on both of these. I absolutely love both of these foundations. However, I don't think I'll be repurchasing the Jouer one just because while I really do enjoy this foundation, I have other like drugstore foundations that I enjoy just a hair more, and so the price point is a lot better for, like, instance, this NYX one, and I would rather be able to repurchase this one rather than this one, if that makes sense. But yeah, still currently working on both of these. Okay, so for concealers, I am working on 2 concealers, but they're unofficially being worked on. So the first one is my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I have mine in the old packaging, I guess, but there's like a little bit of windowing in here. I have not yet removed the stopper. This one's more on the back burner. I've been focusing more on the other concealer, which is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have taken the stopper out of this one, and hopefully you guys can tell down in there, there's not a ton. I mean, I do have product still left on the sides to scrape out, but overall, like, there's not a ton of product in here. So I'm really thinking that maybe by like end of February, this one could be gone, and then hopefully I could get this one moved out before we get to like into summer, halfway mark of the year. And I would be repurchasing the e.l.f. one, but I need to get down like my concealer numbers a little bit more. I think I'm sitting at like 5, and that's just a little too high for me and my like preferences. So working on these 2 unofficially. Okay, so the next things we will talk about are setting powders. I'm working on 2, and they both come from the same project pan, which is the Roulette 50 pan. So the first one is the Hourglass powder right here. It is the shade Diffused Light, if I'm not mistaken. It's this more like yellow toned lighter powder. I really enjoy using this to set down like my concealer and my eyeshadow primer and use it around like my nose and my smile lines, just where I find that I do get some creasing throughout the day. And the other setting powder that I'm working on, this one I use more of like an all over face setting powder. So this is from Bare Minerals. It's just their mineral veil. I'm not too terribly impressed with this. Like, I feel like it gives my skin a little bit of a pink tint to it, and I don't find that it helps me be able to like blend out my blush, bronzer, and highlighter as well as like some other loose and pressed powders that I have in my collection. But I'm really thankful for this being like a deluxe size item so that I could try it out and, you know, assess whether I like it or not before making like a monetary commitment to like a full-size version of this. So yeah, other setting powder that I'm working on. Okay, so before we get into like blush, bronzer, highlighter, all of that, I do want to say I am currently working on 1 face palette. So this is in my Project Random Uses, and if I open it up and show you guys, there are 3 blushes, a highlighter, and a bronzer. It's just easier to show it to you in this like way rather than like pulling it out each time we're talking about like a specific category. So there is this. All right, so for bronzer, speaking of Project Random Uses, I did roll in this Ulta Beauty matte bronzer to that project. This I think is supposed to be like a dupe for the Physicians Formula butter bronzer. This is very powdery. Like, I don't like, you know, stab my brush into there, but like a lot of kickback comes up. So I really foresee this being something that will be easy to finish off. Obviously the goal in Project Random Uses is to only use it however many times you're told by the random number generator, but this is an item that I do want to finish off in the year of 2021. So I think it's gonna be quite an easy bronzer to accomplish that with. The other bronzer that I am working on is a cream bronzer, and this one is just kind of like unofficially. It is the Wet n Wild contour stick in the shade Oaks About You, and I'm gonna roll it up, you guys. Look at that little nub. That's all that's left. So I am not planning on digging out this product. Once it starts like scraping my skin with the plastic packaging, that's it. I'm calling it done, and I will be so proud of myself. There's nothing wrong with this product. I think it's very lovely. I do wear it most every day that I wear my makeup, so I have really fallen in love with it. However, I like the Milk Makeup bronzer stick in the shade Baked a lot better. It's just, I feel like it lasts a little bit better. So I have that one in my collection, and I'm not allowing myself to touch that one until I finish this one. So I really think this will be gone by the end of February, fingers crossed. All right, let's look at some more blushes. So for Partners in Cream, I do have this little CYO blush in the shade Smart Talk that I'm currently working on. There's about 4.5 grams of product in here, and my goal is to finish this one off. And then in Project Random Uses, I'm still working on this blush from Vienna Planet in the shade Cranberry. I'm going to try to carefully open it up. It is a loose powder blush, and hopefully you can tell how much is in there. It's quite a generous amount. If I remember correctly, on their website, they have it listed at 10 mils of product in here. So really enjoying this though. It's gotten me a lot more comfortable with like loose blushes. Okay, I do also have 2 blushes that I'm like unofficially working on. So this is just a little sample size blush from Addictive Cosmetics in the shade Cowgirl Up. I am not going to open this up for you guys because it's really hard to get this packaging open and not spill out like any product. So as soon as I am done with the Mineral Veil container from Bare Minerals, I'm gonna pop the sifter out and put this blush into there. But hopefully you can see on camera, it's kind of like a brown blush. I do have it on today mixed with the second blush that I'm going to talk to you about. This is such a tiny sample size of blush, but I counted it in my inventory because I want the credit like for it, like to use it up and see like my blush number go down, you know. But I do really want to get this out of my collection this year. I think it's really pretty. Like I think I went a little too ham with it today, so don't judge me too harshly, but I do think it's pretty, and I think it's an appropriate blush for this time of year. The other one that I'm working on, this I know is an Ofra blush, but I don't know the name of it. And I was working on this last year when I did a Pan That Face palette. So this I just affectionately call the Peachy blush. But if you guys recall, if you followed along in that project, you know that I hit pan on this and then repressed it. So I really want to finish this off. This is my year to hopefully work through some blushes, especially some of the like smaller sized ones that I have, so that I can get my blush number down. Okay, so let's talk about highlighters next. So in Partners in Cream, I do have my Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight that I'm working on. I also, in Project Random Uses, am working on 2 highlighters in there. So the first one is this Juvia's Place Loose Highlighter in the shade Clio, and then as well as my Ofra Pillow Talk highlighter that I am working on. And you can see like we have hit really nice pan. The pan is just like growing every day that I use this. I think it's because I tend to like focus my brush into the center of it. So the center is quite worn away and like very thin there compared to like the outer ring of it. But yeah, really enjoying this as my highlighter. And then the last highlighter that I'm working on is in my Project 50 pan, and it is the Balm Mary Luminizer. And again, the pan has just kept growing on this since I've been adding it into there, and it just makes me really happy. I finished off 1 powder highlighter in the year 2020, and I'm really tempted like to commit myself to trying to finish off either Pillow Talk or Mary Luminizer. Probably Mary Luminizer because I have so many like highlighters that fall into that like golden shade. So if you have finished off a highlighter from the Balm, let me know. Just like, do you have a guesstimate of like how long it took you, how difficult it was, anything like that, because I am tempted to kind of like commit to that off camera. All right, let's do brows. I really like showing this one to you guys. You guys know I'm unofficially working on my ABH Dip Brow in the shade Taupe, and it's just fun every few months to get on here and show you guys like the progress that is being made. So just that little nugget of product left down in there. I cannot wait. I really think this will be done by the end of the year. I think it's gonna come close to hitting like we're gonna be well into the end of the year, probably back into winter before this is done, because a little bit does go a long way. But I am going to be thrilled when I get this out of my collection. It's not a bad product. I really love pomades, but I'm just kind of sick of looking at it, you know? All right, let's move on to eyes. So I am unofficially project panning my Urban Decay All Nighter Eyeshadow Primer. This is my oldest eyeshadow primer, and it is taking forever. I want to say that I have been consistently working on this for like a year, year and a half, and it just will not die. So when's that day gonna come? I don't know, hopefully this year. The other eyeshadow, the other product that goes on your eyes that I'm working on. This is the only eyeshadow that I did bring in here, but in Partners in Cream, I am working on a Natasha Denona Chroma Liquid Crystal eyeshadow in the shade Zone. I'm just really proud of myself when I can like rattle off that name without missing a beat, you know? But this is a really pretty color. It's like a gold and it has like red like reflect to it. So I am quite enjoying this product. Forgot one eye product and then we will move on to lips. So if you guys caught my inventory, you know that I only have 2 eyeliners, which sounds amazing, but they're both peachy nude eyeliners for some reason. So I just picked the one that had the least amount of product left in it to kind of like low-key focus on in the background. So this is the Essence Extreme Long Lasting Eyeliner in the shade 06 Silky Nude. I really do enjoy this, but that is all that I have left of it. And obviously, you guys know, if you've ever panned an eyeliner, they take forever, especially if you're just wearing them in your waterline like I am with this one. A little bit, that's all you need for the day. And yeah, so it's gonna take forever, but I'm really hoping to get this done by the end of the year. Okay, so the last things that we will talk about is lip stuff. And I am like a hint overwhelmed with my lip category, I guess. And it's gonna be funny because when I show you guys all the lip stuff I'm working on, you're gonna be like, really, Haley? You're overwhelmed? But I just tend to, I think that I am still super hyper focused on wanting to commit to lip products instead of like play around. So it overwhelms me because last year I just stuck with like one product, saw it to the end, and then moved on to another one. Whereas this year I like have some stuff that I'm just using on my own. I have some stuff that's in projects, some stuff with the goal to finish it, and some stuff with like a usage goal attached to it. So it's kind of like overwhelming in that sense for me. But the first thing that I'm holding and waving around here is in the Project 50 pan. This is my lip primer from NYX. And y'all, this is fine. Like, does it do its job? Yeah, I guess so. But I don't think I'm gonna repurchase a lip primer. I just don't find that it really helps. Like, I thought someone had commented like, oh, it might help cancel out and like neutralize your lip color, but I put a lip liner all over my lips anyway. I don't know. I don't think that this is something that I will be repurchasing. But that is all that I have left of it. And this is something that is going to take me forever to finish up. You know, I only put it on like once a day. This isn't a product that I'm reapplying like you would like a lip gloss, you know? So it's gonna take forever, but hopefully it's gone by April, because if it is still here in April of this year, that means that we have been working on it consistently for a year. Okay, much like the lip primer, I'm only working on one lip liner. I only have 4 in my collection, but I really want to try to get 1 or 2 of them used up this year. So kind of like with the eyeliner, this is my like most used lip liner right now. So I think that I have a shot of like finishing it off this year. So this is another one from Essence. It is in the shade Under My Skin. I think all of my like writing has worn off on the side of it, but that's all that is left for this lip liner. And I really do enjoy this lip liner. I think it's very pretty. It's a very like neutral pink color, and I could see myself repurchasing this once I am finished off with this one. Okay, I have one like liquid lipstick type item that is in Partners in Cream. This does have a usage goal attached to it. It's from Rare Beauty. It is in the shade Fearless. I do have it on my lips today, paired with this lip primer, or this lip liner from Essence that we just talked about, as well as my Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Baby Brute. And so I am panning this, what is this? A lip gloss. Oh my goodness, like, whew, brain. Okay, so I did take the stopper out of this because the wand was getting so dry and there was like so much product still left in there, as you guys can see. So I'm really happy to have removed the stopper. It does make me a little, I guess, upset because I feel like I didn't really use this all that much before needing to remove the stopper. So it's kind of like a packaging flaw, you know? And then I do have another lip gloss that I'm working on. This is from Colourpop. It is in the shade Snow Day, and this is in my Partners in Cream project pan with a usage goal attached to it. And then the last lip product that I want to show you is something that I'm like unofficially working on. So I canted this in with my Bullet lipsticks, but it does feel much more like a traditional balm. However, I'm just gonna leave it in the category that it's in. So this is the NYX Filler Instinct plumping. Is it? I don't think it's plumping. It's just the NYX Filler Instinct balm lipstick. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's in the shade Beach Casual. So there's how much is in it. I absolutely love this, and it does give your lips like a tingly sensation, but not like, ugh, like I don't like it. But here it is. It's just a great product that I've been like carrying around with me just throughout the day, like as I stay in the house, and just reapplying it. So I hope, like, what I'm trying to show you is just how much of it is like worn down into the tubing. So I would really like to finish this off this year. And that again is another product that I would be like really happy to finish off and then buy a replacement for. Okay, so if I counted correctly and counting like individual pans, so the face palette got counted as 5 items instead of just 1, that is 33 products that I am currently project panning, either be it through an actual project or just low-key like on my own behind the camera. So I really hope you guys enjoyed taking like this little deep dive into it, just as like a recap. I think it was appropriate to do it in January, like I said, since it's the start of the new year. So yeah, that is it. I just thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!